Previously on Gradual Adventure. Ate some eggs, packed the bike, swam in the pool, got the sidewalk wet, got some gas, saw a sign with a cow on it, saw a couch on the side of the road, drove by the military base that invented drones but didn't see any drones flying, contemplated the peaceful use of nuclear weapons, didn't see any whores, didn't eat at a diner, bought some explosives. The desire to leave Amagosa was felt almost as soon as I got there, and now that I was leaving, it felt fantastic. On the right side of me, there was a large beige smudge. It looked like glorious sand dunes that needed to be explored, and I was just the person to do it. So I turned down a road that was only marked by an orange traffic cone. It seemed to be pointed in the general direction of the dunes. The bike kicked and bucked on the dirt road. It was a fairly unwieldy beast. As I got closer to the dunes, I realized I would have to lighten the load on her if she was going to carry me to the base of the dune. So I stopped and took the bulk of the gear off of her. This looked as good as any as a place to make camp, marked by an old fire pit and some other detritus. I could only wonder what demons were exercised in this spot. The tent was easy enough to construct in the insane heat of the day, and I thought I would welcome sitting in its shade. But it was more like an oven than a shady spot. The sun's radiation seemed to heat everything that I touched. I changed into some lighter clothes. Nothing seemed to help. We are in the middle of a desert, and it's barely noon. The hotness of the day is just getting started. Jesus, it's hot. Baking hot. I will not survive this intense heat much longer. So I try an old Indian trick that I'd learned from an ancient desert spiritual song. I hop back on the bike and get a bag of ice from the gas station at Amagosa. Yes, this ancient desert spiritual song trick is perfect. It helps immensely. This is the most beautiful block of ice on the planet. I'm feeling much better now. It's time for exploring. But first, we must dine on seeds and put ice in our shoes. The ancient Chinese used firecrackers to scare away evil spirits. So I light a little firecracker offering to keep my gear safe as I set out to conquer the dune. The ride to the dune is intense. My slick street tires are having trouble grabbing traction, and I have to keep the throttle wide open just to get a forward momentum going. After the forward momentum is achieved, the bike vacillates from shooting like a rocket to getting completely bogged down. The front wheel acts like a rudder and falls prey to other people's tracks quite easily. Soon enough, I find myself completely bemired, drowning in sand. I use my weight and slowly rock the rear tire free. This is one of those times I'm glad I went with the smaller bike. After that, I try to get her going again and bury the bike even deeper than before. Apparently, the correct way to get the bike out from being stuck is to dismount it and then walk alongside it, pushing it as you give it some gas. With the bike out, I drive the rest of the way, wide open throttle, to as close to the dune as I dare get. The rest of the conquering will have to be on foot. Climbing the dune was as close to a spiritual experience as I've ever had, but that story I'll have to tell you next week.